The sarcophagus inside the incredible closet. This epic dream overnight came during a sudden and unexpected traditional Catholic search and rescue mission through I Am's work of reparation to the holy face of Jesus for Christ's sacred priesthood as needed, for the sake of the whole world in our time. One cannot love without suffering. He, Jesus, showed us this very clearly upon the cross, where he was consumed for love of us. And it is the same every day in the Blessed Sacrament of the altar. Since love makes lovers one in likeness, if we love, let us model our lives on his. Saint Margaret Mary Alacoque of the Sacred Heart Devotion. Monday, May 13th, 2019, in traditional Catholic Detroit, I Am orders an unexpected search and rescue operation for Christ's sacred priesthood as needed at the start of a very busy day during the traditional Tridentine Holy Sacrifice of the Mass at 8 o'clock in the morning at St. Joseph's. So be it. St. Joseph, lead on. Fasting begins that afternoon, just after the unexpected trip to the Perpetual Eucharistic Adoration Chapel from the past in Sterling Heights. What wonders! The night is severely penitential, and along with it came another epic dream. The incredible dream overnight. The first part of the dream begins at work, and while it seemed to span hours, what happened cannot be remembered except for a few details, although it is intimately connected with what came next in the dream at another location. And it is also intimately connected with I Am's work of reparation to the holy face of Jesus, 3 crucifixions in modern times, one within the family, one right in church, and one while at work. Sold for 30 pieces of silver. All 3 executions by crucifixion, one within a sacramentally wed union, one in church, and one at work, began with a love for money, which is the root of all evil. Almighty God has recently said that humanity is being sold in imitation of Christ for 30 pieces of silver, which, note, isn't much. There is a sudden change of location in the dream, from work to a home that looks familiar and yet unfamiliar. The student teacher's 3 children are in her company, and this family of 4 finds itself inside a home, for it has moved apparently. This move in the dream signifies change that is occurring as Almighty God wills, from here in traditional Catholic Detroit through Christ's traditional Catholic sacred priesthood, for the sake of the whole world in our time. The student teacher's 3 children represent humanity's future. While inside, and while taking everything in with such awe and with wonder, the 4 of you explore the house, and while doing so, as in dreams of the past, the house begins expanding in the most incredible way as certain things are revealed, some of them by your children, who are now young adults. Recent dreams have been unique compared to the others in the past in one particular way. While taking place in the present, they also traveled back to the past. All of a sudden it comes to you, meaning this information is shared with you from an unknown and unseen source, that this is the house of a family of 5, not 4, meaning it includes your former sacramentally wed husband, who, like so many in our time, and like so many in the past, have been possessed by the forces of darkness. However, throughout the dream, he is never seen inside the house. While walking through the house and while exploring, still taking everything in, including so many details with such awe and with wonder, you begin asking your children some questions because they know the answers. The incredible closet inside the massive house you don't like. This is the home for a family of 5, and somehow your family was reunited, although the head of the family is not present. Your children then take you through this house because they know it, for he taught them the ways of the world with his self-interested example. This house represents what the world has to offer, its lies and empty promises. It is a massive house, and it is filled with extravagant things. was constructed with such elaborate building materials, and it stands as a monument to those who serve themselves and the rewards they reap, at least for the time being. You can't take it with you. As the house expands, you like it less and less. It is way too big and way too elaborate for you, who prefer to be inside Christ's house, which is humble and simple and giving and sacrificially loving. The worldly, so short-sighted, seek to manipulate and to control others with power, influence, illusions of grandeur, and with money. So while your family is reunited inside this house as you're dwelling in this dream, you like it less and less, the more and more of it you see. It is very clear that your two sons know God's truth, but possession is contagious on the side of good as well as on the side of evil, and their little sister is clearly allured by this house, for she has been bewitched to some degree by her father's wealth, which he amassed in Lucifer's service, and by what it can buy, which in truth is soul decay and the soul's ultimate total ruin for all eternity. He attempted to manipulate and to ruin his entire family, as well as so many other people. Remember, the young adult children represent what has happened to their generation in modern times. They also represent the apostolic mission of Almighty God's work of reparation to the holy face of Jesus in our time. Suddenly you find yourself inside an incredible closet, and it reminds you of another closet in a past dream, while still at the Slovak parish during the great 7-year war for souls there. But that closet containing incredible treasure was much smaller, and it represented Christ's Catholic Church. This closet inside the home for the family of 5 is absolutely massive and very expensive, and it is the closed closet of the self-interested lord of the manor who, remember, isn't present. He is absent. Remember what I Am has his student teacher doing full-time to support his work through the spending of the self, instead of by hosting fundraisers. His student teacher, while still the publisher at Joseph Carl Publishing, helps properly outfit men in fine garments for travel, job interviews, weddings, funerals, church, graduations, celebrations, ceremonies, banquets, work, and other special occasions. The massive sarcophagus in the middle of the missing Lord of the Manor's closed closet. In the very middle of this massive room, you are stunned to see an enormous sarcophagus. It is elaborate and looks Egyptian. You find yourself reaching out to touch it and then lift the lid while still taking everything in with such awe and with wonder. And while attending to this task, you ask your young adult children if the lord of this manor has changed his treasonous ways. The silence of your two sons indicates that, regrettably, he has not. You find your 4 selves inside yet another room that is incredibly big for what it is. This next room is colossal, and it is a personal home movie theater that is about the size of a commercial movie theater. It is for personal use, meaning for a family of 5, but the screen is absolutely massive. Your sons don't like it, but your daughter is smiling. All the world is a stage. My children, all we are is what we are in the eyes of God, and nothing more. St. John Vianney. Why your family was inside that grand home in the dream. Almighty God is having your family of 4 host a traditional Catholic search and rescue mission in imitation of and in union with Christ crucified, for one man whose treason, in imitation of Judas, was instrumental for the sake of the whole world in our time. Trust all things to Jesus in the Blessed Sacrament, and to Mary, help of Christians, and you will see what miracles are. St. John Bosco. To learn more about Almighty God, our Father of Mercies, work of reparation to the holy face of Jesus, and your vital, irreplaceable, indispensable, and God-given Holy Apostolate of Reparation, visit www.thesacramentof the work of reparation to the holyfaceofjesus.com. Jesus said to Sister Mary of St. Peter, "By my holy face you will work wonders, appease the anger of God, and draw down mercy on sinners," and he still means it. Wisdom that is hid, and treasure that is not seen, what profit is there in them both? Better is he that hideth his folly than the man that hideth his wisdom. Sirach, chapter 20, verses 32 through 33.